All right, guys, we got to talk about the Batman 2, the movie that I officially think is not going to happen with Robert Pattinson and never going to happen, and let me tell you why. So, last week we got news that Robert Pattinson will officially be the villain in Dune Messiah, and I think this is directly linked to the Batman 2. And what I mean by that is Dune Messiah is a large, probably WB's largest property right now, largest franchise other than the Batman. We have Superman coming out in about 3 months. David Zaslav is not going to make a decision until that Superman movie comes out. If that Superman movie makes $1 billion and it's a cultural phenomenon, he is going to give James Gunn the power to cast his own Batman, something that I think has already been in the works for a long time. I don't think James Gunn has ever wanted two Batman in the DCU. I don't think he's ever wanted an Elseworld story, and honestly, I agree with that. Now, we can argue, day and night whether Pattinson should be the DCU Batman, but regardless, there's not going to be two. And if there's not going to be two, that means that there's not going to be a Pattinson one, because obviously the DCU is going to have their own Batman. Why I think Dune is directly correlated as well is there's only so much time that Pattinson has shooting. I think behind the scenes they know the Batman 2 isn't going to happen. So what they did is they locked in one of their biggest assets, Robert Pattinson, into their other franchise, Dune Messiah. And they didn't wait to announce this, because once they announced the Batman 2 isn't happening, all the other studios are going to pounce to try to snatch Pattinson up for their own movies. So I think they protected themselves here. And from Pattinson's angle, he's probably like, okay, I'm not Batman anymore. Let me grab the next best thing. Villain in a huge Dune movie. Like I said, this can change. If Superman flops, then Zaslav is not going to have any confidence in James Gunn, and he's certainly not going to have any confidence in him casting his own Batman. So I think a lot is riding on the Superman movie. I fully expect the Superman movie to be really successful, but like I said, once the Superman movie is really, really successful, they're going to want to move in that direction. Now, I think, frankly, it's ridiculous that Zaslav is even having this hesitation. Even if it's not official, I think it's very, very obvious if you're reading the tea leaves, and I think this is a huge, huge story in Hollywood. I think right now we have not only Batman up in the air, but 007 up in the air, in my opinion, the two biggest roles that a real lead actor can get. So there's nothing official. I don't have any, sources or anything. But this was a huge, huge, huge alarm going off that Pattinson was cast in this movie. These movies are made by the same company. They're made by the same people. Maybe not directed, but they're produced and executively produced by the same people. And so we'll see what happens. I don't think anything will happen after Superman. But if Superman is, like I said, a huge movie, then I think we will absolutely not be getting Pattinson as Batman. Or maybe we'll get the Matt Reeves movie under the umbrella of James Gunn. But I certainly think that the days of a Batman 2 as its own thing are done. Also, the last thing I forgot to say is we also have gotten word that Colin Farrell, and this is another thing, who's the Penguin in the Batman universe, obviously, was cast as Sergeant Rock. And Sergeant Rock is in the DCU, a totally different character. And so I think just they recast Colin Farrell, they got Pattinson in Dune. I think they're making the steps behind the scenes to lock in their top actors into other projects and protect themselves. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. That's my theory anyway. We'll see what happens. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.